Everybody. Well, it is October 4th, 2024. I have a lot of pages open. And yes, my focus is Hurricane Helene and the wonderful destruction that Hurricane Helene has brought to North Carolina and Tennessee and other places, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, and a whole lot up in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina in particular, because that is town after town after town has just been decimated. So I want to just say hello to everybody. Geofactor, hi. Alicia DeMoss and Angelo's Crazy Pots. Tony Punch, hi. Louisiana Skywatch. And I did see your comment. So you turned off of a street and the water went over your hood, like the neighborhood is sinking. The rain wasn't that bad, but my son said it was like raining like that for a month. It's crazy. It sounds crazy. Kenner is the area that she drove into today, and that's in Louisiana. L24, hi, thank you. Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that, Al. Very sorry. For both you with the fever and putting your dog down. Very sorry. Hi, Sandra, and Rage Against the Machine. Kim Blanchard. Looks like you got your channel back. That's good. Steve. Stack Stevenson, it's good to see you. I know, even Ohio. Kurt Dog and Bella and Julie and Mark Anthony and Christopher and Rick Yorkin, Silent Walk. Hi. So let's just look at this bizarre radar, okay? What's going on in Washington? What is this? Is there rain in the eastern portion of Washington? But this looks like it's, wow, traveling very fast, hitting a extremely low frequency. That's very strange looking. Of course, we've got our extremely low frequencies blasting away in Southern California. Oh, you can't see it. Did it again. My bad. Washington, Southern California, look at these frequencies and the crossing of the frequencies, very dangerous. And what's happening down here? What is going on? Which way is this weather front going? Because it does seem as if it's going in opposite directions and kind of being stretched out. Well, we know, right? The weather is controlled. And I do think that there must be more people considering that weather is controlled and weather is being used as a weapon. I can't imagine that people are not questioning how the hell did a hurricane come up and cause more damage up in the Blue Ridge Mountains, far more than Florida, where it made landfall. Okay, no severe weather warnings. Good. Good, good, good. Hi, Elizabeth. Thank you. Patricia White. Hello, Hillbilly Grandma. Hi. Okay. We're just going to jump right into it. I came across this. Listen to this. Just the first minute.
Rockford.
It's not even a minute. It's 50 seconds.
Residents still recovering from mid-July storms now have a new resource to find some help. FEMA's
Rockford, Illinois had a storm in July, and FEMA, they're finally putting up a disaster relief center. You're finally going to get a little bit of help. July, it's October. Yeah. FEMA announces non-citizen aliens will be granted disaster assistance. Okay. We're on our own, right? You get that? And one of the reasons why I'm focusing on what is taking place, especially in North Carolina, is that don't think that you won't experience something similar. You can't. Not when they're bringing hurricanes and causing that much destruction in North Carolina, okay? So, but people are experiencing shit hits the fan. Like a lot of people thought shit hits the fan, how it would manifest. There are people who are experiencing that in North Carolina. So everything is getting worse, okay? And it's not going to get better. So somehow you guys pull together a community, because you see these people in North Carolina banding together, and also Tennessee. It's brought me to tears, actually, today. There must be the mentality of the people in that region that just say, F you, government, we're doing what we need to do, which is very good. So, yeah, illegal aliens. All right. If you're Cuban or Haitian, you qualify for assistance. Why? Because you're one of those who, what's it called? The temporary status. You're completely and utterly protected. All right. It's infuriating. It is so infuriating. Who will get assistance from FEMA? Legal permanent residents, green card holders, non-citizens granted asylum, non-citizens whose deportation status is being withheld for at least 1 year, refugees, non-citizens paroled into the U.S. for at least 1 year for urgent humanitarian purposes, Cuban and Haitian entrants, certain battered non-citizens or their spouses or children, certain victims of a severe form of human trafficking, including persons with a T or U visa. Okay. Oh, I will post the link if you want to share it. But the other thing that I think more and more Americans are getting, their government is not there for them. Oh, wait. You pay them, they turn around and just kick you when you're down. Things to ponder How does a hurricane travel 800 plus miles on dry ground, dumping 40 trillion gallons of rain, and most of it at 2,000 plus feet of elevation in North Carolina? That needs to be questioned, of course, right? Yes. Weather modification is happening, geoengineering, maybe do some research and face reality like a whole lot of us. And once again, BlackRock, yes, signing a $90 million contract for lithium and the quartz. This is a short video. I'm going to play it.
Really dependent on one mineral called high purity quartz, and virtually the entire global supply of that quartz comes from one tiny town called Spruce Pine, North Carolina. Now, Spruce Pine saw 2 feet of rainfall from Hurricane Helene, and now nearly a week later, city officials tell me that there's still no water, power, or cell service. The infrastructure is completely disrupted to the point that roads and railways are so torn up that in some areas in the western part of the state, mules are being used to transport materials in and out. So the 2 companies that operate the quartz mines there, that's Zabelco and Quartz Corp, they tell us their work has been shut down since Thursday, and Quartz Corp adds that they have no visibility as to when operations can restart. So the question becomes not just whether the mines themselves have been damaged, but also whether it's possible to get the quartz out. Disruptions would impact not only the $5 billion quartz market, but the $600 billion semiconductor market that depends on it. And that quartz is also used in solar panels, fiber optic cables, and some light bulbs, which could all see some issues as well. And Kelly, I just spoke a few minutes ago with the head of TechSet. They track the quartz supply chain. Their best guess right now is 4 to 6 weeks until things are back up and running in Spruce Pine, and that's if the roads are able to be cleared. So that alone could lead to at least minor slowdowns for the chip makers. And every day that that timeline gets extended, Kelly, the impact just multiplies.
And I'm sure they're very happy. Spruce Pine has been decimated. Now, I'm going to read some of this. I can't believe what I saw today. I've been out for 12 hours bringing supplies to people up in the mountains. I was in Yancey County, Mitchell County, Bakersville, Spruce Pine, Burnsville, etc. I kept an old man's generator running for his oxygen and waited with him until his family showed up. I handed out thousands of dollars to people. They have no driveways, no power, no food. People are dying. Grown men crying and hugging me for giving them $100. I'm going back out tomorrow to do it all over again. It's making me sick, what I saw and heard today. I've also been crying on and off all day. I usually don't get like this. The government is confiscating supplies from small towns at their drop-off points. That's why I'm bringing everything to the people directly. I met up with a convoy of patriots and we drove supplies to places people couldn't get to and roads that were closed. I went everywhere with the truck that they went with their side-by-sides. I've never experienced anything like this in my life. And what I've been seeing, I've never seen anything like this. And I've been doing the weather destruction for 13 plus years. I've never seen destruction like I'm seeing. So apparently Alexa is being honest. But it was programmed by someone, a human, 2-legged, programmed to say what it's saying.
Alexa, did North Carolina use cloud seeding during Hurricane Helene?
Yes, North Carolina has been cloud seeding during Hurricane Helene. Scientists injected silver iodide into the hurricane wall to steer the hurricane in another direction.
Oh my goodness.
Repeat.
To reduce the amount that can be paid out as compensation, Hurricane Helene was then artificially created, just like cloud seeding used to control and manipulate the weather, to flood and devastate those places and crash the value of land there.
Repeat.
Okay, so however they program this, it's just they're laughing. They're laughing at all of the people who know about weather modification, who are awake, and those who are suffering the consequences of this. We are getting the truth from government, okay? And I sure hope Americans face that fact. Now, I'm going to play this. I like this woman, and I believe this is the same woman that I posted on my Never Lose Truth channel. And I do want to say that this is her channel, and right down here, you can donate supplies or donate funds. Any of you have a Cash App, and or Venmo? Even $5, just, we have to band together. So this is the latest. It is unbelievable what's going on.
Here's your update from Western North Carolina and our Helene help operations. First of all, some really dumb rules have been implemented, y'all. One of our big shelters and distribution centers, the health department told the refugees, those that are stranded, who've lost everything, that they could not use the shelter showers without flip-flops. Dumbest thing I have ever heard. These people have lost everything, and you won't let them take a hot shower without flip-flops? Oh, but when I got that call, thank you, friends, and thank you to Larry and Concord who hooked us up at the nail supply place, because we sent 18,000 pairs of flip-flops up to the shelter this morning, where one of my girlfriends took a trailer up so people can take a shower. Those are the kind of rules that don't help in a time of absolute survival disaster. That's number one. Number two is, if you're reading about FEMA online and wondering if they're really a pain in the tail, I can confirm it is true. I tried to send in a pallet of chainsaws 2 days ago, and we had to divert it somewhere away from FEMA because they wanted to confiscate. FEMA, those ain't your chainsaws. Our mountain people are much better with them than y'all are, although I'm sure there's some very fine people that work for FEMA. I'm talking about the organization. But those saws need to be in the hands of the guys on ATVs down in the holler and up on these trees where there are blocked roads where we can get access to our neighbors who are still stranded. This is not a one-time little 5-minute storm. There are people that we have not gotten to yet, and we want to get to them. That's why those chainsaws are up there. So fine, we're going to go around you, FEMA, and don't try to get in the way of North Carolina mountain people when we are trying to take care of each other. You should also know I had a shipment trying to go in last night that got stopped because somebody wanted to inventory it. So we diverted that one elsewhere to get it into the hands of an apartment complex of seniors that have been neglected. So thank you to the friend of mine who alerted me to that complex, and to the other friend who took this load up. And by the way, got to spend the night at the apartment of somebody who was just willing to help out. The biggest thing you have to know here is that neighbors are looking after neighbors. And when FEMA's in the way, don't think you're going to stop us, because that's basically like a Satan roadblock, and God will find a way because God always wins. The other thing I want y'all to know is that we do have support from all over the country. We've got NYPD, fire departments, we've got linemen and emergency personnel, and we in North Carolina are very grateful that you have chosen to come help us. So thank you to them, but boo to the government agencies that want to get in the way. And by the way, got to add one more thing. The announcement today that this little tiny piddling amount of money is going to go to people impacted by this storm. Are you kidding me? I told y'all before, you cannot eat money or drink money. Why are we not seeing massive supply drops come in? And I mean massive. The government is run by my taxpayer dollars and your taxpayer dollars. They are a net consumer, not a producer. So whatever they're throwing out there comes from me. As a taxpaying citizen, DC, quit trying to buy us off because you can't buy us for $750 anyway. How about you send in the water we need, send in some ATVs, send in some more chainsaws and fuel, and let us take care of our people and get out of the way, because Western North Carolina is going to pull through this, whether you get in our way or not.
I like her. I like her. She's inspiring. Inspiring. Now I'm going to post a link to her channel, the video that I posted of her a couple of days ago. And that's where you can find out how to contribute. Right? Right. Check my social media for the list of essential items needed. Okay. Now, I'm going to play a few minutes of Inspired. He interviewing another woman who's very inspiring. Listen to what she has to say.
The saga continues. It's a week now since Hurricane Helene made landfall. And what happened since is nothing short of incredible, absolutely unbelievable. And we are constantly looking for sources on the ground. I told you we have a dear friend in Barnardsville, North Carolina, just outside of Asheville. They are, as far as we know, still cut off. He's talked about mass casualties. He is a survival expert, so they're doing fine, and they're the residents are actually helping each other. But we have more information today from our dear friend and information war correspondent, Ann Vandersteel. She's joining us. Thank you so much, Ann, for joining us today.
Jean, it's always great to see you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have you. Unfortunately, under not such great circumstances, but that seems to be the norm these days.
It
And
does.
you have boots on the ground, and that's usually when something happens somewhere in the United States. You have boots on the ground. What can you tell us? What's the latest that you know?
Well, the boots on the ground are part of Operation Burning Edge, and we have an advanced team that's already there right now reporting. We have air assets that are out delivering supplies, in addition to picking up people who have been significantly injured or harmed. We've got assets in the law enforcement area that are bringing in horrific reports of body counts. One deputy sheriff himself, collected and bagged himself 1,200 plus bodies that he pulled out of rivers and on the side of the road.
That is just
We
one team you're talking about, right?
That's just one man. I have other.
That's
There's
Over 1,000 bodies. Now, I've heard numbers that are so shocking. And it's almost hard to believe. But when you consider Asheville with a population of just under 100,000, and then all of the surrounding towns, 1,000 bodies is not that much, actually.
we have air assets. Yeah, Operation Airdrop is there. I've got a journalist also that's traveling now, and he's looking into a variety of stories that we want to investigate further. I don't want to broadcast it out on the air because we want to at least get the information and collate it before we let people know what we're looking for. But
Yeah.
When you have illegal aliens that are being bussed in, days before a storm that they know is forecast to hit their area, and based on the opening video you played, they orchestrated the storm to hit that area. It's very obvious that they had intended to create utter and total chaos in the area. But what's truly sad is that this is bigger. There's a lot more going on, and I think this has big ties into the financial system of our country. The fact that it's insolvent, and we're being challenged with an adversary in BRICS, if you will, that is using true sound money with asset-backed currency, and that is going to quash the cabal, and the cabal is looking how they can profit. And so part of this whole journey is understanding sovereignty and understanding just how they stole the entire United States literally out from underneath us. You think you own something, you may own that house, but you're still in a feudalistic relationship, because when you don't pay your property tax, they will take it all. So there's a lot to unpack in all of this, so people understand just the deck of cards they're playing with. But truly, this is our moment to shine, Sean. We can take it all back if we choose. This is, the choice that we have to make if we are in God's army of light or not.
Yes, well, sovereignty is sort of the ongoing subject on our channel. That's
Okay, so the link is in the chat. I think I suggest you click on it, because she has an awful lot of information. And she talks about, let's me just see let's listen to the next question.
Self-empowerment, understanding on all level, physical, spiritual, mental, and also lawful, legal, right? You and I talked about this quite a few times before.
Yeah.
People are, I think such events, and especially the aftermath, is such a wake-up call. I have never seen the kinds of reactions actually are positive in a way that people are aware now, that people are looking into the weather modification tech, that people are looking into what ulterior motives are there to attack an area after the fires, the extensive fires of the last few years, the land grabs out west after Maui, Lahaina, and so forth. I mean, unfortunately, there's so many events, so many times where, unlike in previous decades, land is being confiscated. The feds come in and they literally send people away. We've heard horrific reports in terms of first or volunteers being shut down, turned back, threatened.
Yeah.
People are, I think such events, and especially the aftermath, is such a wake-up call.
In recovery efforts, they are now trying to keep the airspace, void of people being able to move around. And up until this point, it was all Americans that were doing the rescues, private citizens and helicopters, and people that were taking the first responder initiatives themselves, because so far the cavalry hasn't come. All we've got now is a memo from Kamala. You're going to get a check for $750. That's not going to do a thing. These people have lost everything. Chris Martenson putting out reports with respect to the federal government having appeared into towns like Chimney Rock, which literally the town is gone, and telling the few residents that were there, you don't own anything here anymore. The federal government does, and you have to leave. We're going to bulldoze it all, including the bodies. There'll be no proper burial. There'll be nothing left. We're going to start over, and you don't own the land. So, when it comes to, rescue and recovery efforts, this is truly an American this is going to be an American initiative. And Joe Biden did tell us that the other day in his little soundbite when he said there's no money from FEMA. The Americans are going to have to start to pay. Well, what did we pay taxes for all these years? If you're still in the beast system, you're now recognizing that privilege of being a U.S. citizen is really not a privilege at all, because they're extending all the benefits to the illegals that are coming across the border. And these are the very same illegals that are creating chaos, theft, looting, and rape in an area that has already been savaged and under a severe supply chain crisis, compounded by yet another supply chain crisis. And this is all, again, the timing in all this, John, is so suspect. But, the people on the ground are trying to be as resilient as possible, and they're staying as positive, but it's starting to wear thin. Many people without food and water for now, going on day 7. And of course, when you're being told to stand down, as they are at Fort Bragg, I refuse to call it Fort Liberty. I will stick with the Confederate Army name of Fort Bragg. When they're being told to stand down, there's a problem. There's a serious, serious problem.
Click on the link and check out everything that she and her organization is doing. And I will post the link to the American Made Foundation. Link is in the chat, and you can click on that link. Yeah. We don't have much government action taking place. The only action that seems to be taking place is to prevent all of these people from helping. Government response has been slow. Thousands of families are struggling to survive in the aftermath. American Made Foundation has joined forces with Operation Burning Edge to deliver critical aid support directly needed, providing air assets, fuel, food and water, field reporting, logistics, medical supplies, and yeah, link is in the chat. I'd say virtually everybody has at least $5 to donate. That's how we stand together. So, this is pretty amazing. I'm not going to play the whole video, but this man and his wife, I believe, had friends in the mountains, and they were unable to hear from their friends for 5 days. So they drove in, hiked up, and fortunately, right near the end, they're filming it, and one of his friend's relatives comes landing a helicopter right when they get there. But look at what is the massive destruction of all of these towns is really, was it just water that did it? Or how about some extremely low frequencies?
Bro, thank you guys for coming out. Man, they've got a bunch of gear. Wow. I bet they're going. I bet they're doing like a search and rescue operation.
So he's passing an awful lot of civilian trucks, and well, you can listen to what he says.
Greensboro, thank you guys for coming out. Man, they've got a bunch of gear. Wow. I bet they're going. I bet they're doing like a search and rescue operation. Here's a big gas line, it looks like it. Is this a gas line? Yeah. They were selling gas right back there, though. Are you serious? This is a crazy gas line.
It's on both sides.
Grace and I are going cross country. We're trying to get into some friends who are cut off several miles out, who we haven't heard from. It's been like 5 days. 5 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So this is 4 days after the storm. And yesterday we learned that this community is completely cut off. I'm not 100% sure this is the best route, but it'll be good. It'll work.
And when you watch these videos and you see the terrain that has greatly changed for an awful lot, the roads are just carved up or non-existent. But when they get there,
Our friend's house, our friend's relative showed up in a helicopter. He showed up for the same reason that we did, because he had heard nothing from our friends since the storm and had no idea what was happening.
hills around Asheville, it's really been hard for responders and emergency workers to get up here. In the hills around Asheville, it's really been hard for responders and emergency workers to get up here. And you can see why, because behind me is where a giant landslide started at the very top of this mountain. There used to be houses right here coming through. And then as you see down the mountain where I'm standing, there used to be a house. Here's their stairs. And the house is now down there, taking out several houses along the way. And we know from one of the neighbors that 2 people died here, right here on the mountain the night of the storm. And one of them lived not long enough afterward, and the neighbors said that they held his hand while he died because there was no way to call anybody for help. The hills around Asheville, it's really been hard for
You know, at least this isn't slick asphalt. Yeah. You know, some of the asphalt gets like a lot of traffic. It's slick. Just keep on going. Now, you coming up or we Good, how are you, sir?
In the rain. In the rain.
You know what though? We got that ice float.
Look at you. Now, what do you need from you to do? To dump it into something?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Oh, that's all right.
They do everything they possibly can. Now, listen to this woman, because this is shit hits the fan. Oh, it's not going to play on here. All right, hang on. Now I have to find it.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to give another update. We lost phone service for about 36 hours and it just came back on today. This morning I woke up to a bunch of text messages, so that was nice. Things are very strange right now. So it's been 7 days that we haven't had electricity or drinkable water. We do have water, but we're not supposed to be drinking it because of the pumps, I guess, in the city aren't moving it, so it's stagnant. But yeah, so there have been reports, people are getting crazy is kind of what's going on now. There have been reports that somebody was shot at a gas station, getting frustrated in the gas station line. Somebody, I haven't Googled, I don't have internet, so I can't like confirm all this, but everybody's talking about a shooting that happened inside one of the grocery stores. And I guess last night the ABC store was robbed also. So people are getting a little bit desperate, I think. And we had a very weird situation happen last night that I was going to tell you all about just because it's so crazy. But it's pitch black, right, at night, obviously, because again, no electricity. We were in bed and our dog started barking really loudly and running to the front, like running out toward the front door. I didn't get out of bed because we have 2 people staying with us that are friends that the dogs don't really know as well. So I thought, well, maybe one of them got up and was wandering around the house and the dogs would like get up and, they thought somebody was in. So they're running, barking. And then my daughter comes running in the room and she's like, there's somebody pounding on the door, like banging really hard on the front door. And she's like, they're trying to get in. And I was like, well, we don't have phone service. It could be a family member, we don't have if somebody needs to get a hold of us, that's how they're going to do it. They're going to come and bang on the door. So I was like, it's fine, you know. And there's just this like bang, 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 you know. And so I look out the window and there's nobody there, and there's no car. And I say, hey, it's like, is somebody out there? And there's nothing. And then I say, hello, is somebody there? And this man's voice says, hey, come outside. I don't know if you all seen the movie The Strangers, but that's immediately what jumped through my head. And I was like, no. And so I told my daughter, I was like, go in your room, lock the door. My husband got our gun and came outside, and our dogs just went crazy, like running toward the end of our driveway. And this car, they got in a car, and this car just was going back and forth in front of our house and like down the side street, and they're like yelling out the window. And it was really scary. I tried in the moment to call 911 because I was like, I don't know if they're coming in. I don't know how many of them there are. I don't know if they're coming back through the driveway. And I couldn't even dial 911 because our phones weren't working. So we just went back in the house, locked the doors, of course, and didn't sleep all night. But it was really scary because people are looting because nobody has any security right now, it feels like. So yeah, it's kind of traumatizing. But we have a shotgun, and so if they come back tonight, we are going to just fire a couple warning shots in the air, let them know that we're capable of protecting our property and ourselves. So yeah, I don't mean to be like, you know, bearer of like weird news, but I don't think people understand really how big this is here. You know, I don't know if this is national news. I don't know if people are watching as closely as they should, but it's pretty terrible in the Asheville, Western North Carolina area right now. And it's getting weird. But yeah, so anyway, but we're okay. Everybody's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I hope you're ready for anything.
Thank you for all the support and sharing that video. It did exactly what it was intended.
I'm getting a little confused because a lot of the men have beards and they look similar. But I think this was the man with the helicopter who was threatened with arrest. And if it's not, he was definitely one of them that was prevented from doing any kind of rescues. And he thanks everybody for circulating, sharing, you know, his experience. It's very important to get that out, get all the information out there.
Thank you for all the support and sharing that video. It did exactly what it was intended to do, and that was to go viral. And it went so viral that 12:30 at night last night, I actually had congressmen texting me, offering their support and trying to clarify issues that we had been running into out here. So thank you all for that. That would not have been possible without all of you sharing that video. It also brought us a lot of helicopter support from the private sector on the civilian side. I've had so many civilians reach out to me offering their helicopters, and they're actively flying up here right now. So we're going to put those helicopters to work and go save lives. On the military side, the government side, they're on their way from what I'm being told, which is great. When they get here, we're going to put them to work. To give you a real world idea of what's happening here and restrictions that we have with weather, we usually can't go fly till about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning just because of fog and pilots can't go fly. Right now it's beautiful, it's sunny, and we should be out flying right now, but me and Charlie are sitting here on the ground waiting for our helicopters to get back, but we won't be able to go out probably till later this afternoon because Joe Biden is flying in, and they put up a temporary flight restriction in this entire area. So what we decided to do was put our search and rescue teams on the helos right now before the TFR goes in effect, fly up to the mountains, drop them off so they can go rescue people. And then our helicopters have to go even further north to another airport to get approval with a squat code. They have to go there in person. They won't give it to us over the phone. That way they can fly in the TFR. And they're not going to have enough time to come back here, get us, and then go do a mission, because from about 12 to 4 or so, the TFR goes into effect, and there will be no active rescue missions going on at all. That's right, 0 flying whatsoever. So that's why we decided to put our boys, as many boys as we could, up on the mountain to start doing search and recovery because of that reason. So the TFR is supposed to be lifted sometime around 4 p.m., but you know how the government is, it'll probably go all day. So if, let's say it does end at 4 o'clock and we can actually lift off at 4 o'clock, at best, we're probably going to go do 2 rescue missions before it gets dark, and that's it. When we should be doing rescue missions all day because it's so sunny and nice out and we have good weather, but because of politics, we can't go do our job right now because somebody wants to come here and shake hands and kiss babies and take video that he actually pretends like he cares and probably offer everybody $300, $500 because of the hurricane damage. So that is, unfortunately, the real world politics of what is going here in North Carolina.
More important to do a photo op with Biden than rescue people. If you haven't seen this, ready?
You can thank Donald Trump and Elon Musk for that. You know, I've been going all over South Carolina like most people. I hadn't slept much. But look what's going on in Israel. Our friends in Israel are surrounded by people that want...
I'm sorry. You've been all over South Carolina because South Carolina also, a whole lot of towns in South Carolina got hit hard. Okay. This is the senator from South Carolina, Lindsey Graham, who, how old is he now? 303 or something? Oh, 33. I did it. Can't get rid of these psychopathic, I don't even consider these people to be human. They're just so repulsive. But what did he say? Wait, let's listen again.
You can thank Donald Trump and Elon Musk for that. You know, I've been going all over South Carolina like most people. I hadn't slept much. But look what's going on in Israel.
But look what's going on in Israel. South Carolinians, you need to drag this guy out of office. My God. But look what's going on in Israel. Holy shit. In your face. In your face, South Carolinians. You don't matter at all. The senator, your senator, that's how he thinks of you. Well, look what's happening in Israel. He says more.
Friends in Israel surrounded by people that want to kill them, destroy them, a second Holocaust in the making, and Biden says be proportional. What is the proportional response to people who want to kill you and your family? God. They're running out of ammunition in Israel. We have to help our friends to keep the war over there from coming here. They're willing to...
God.
You can thank Donald Trump.
You can't get more disgusting than that. You cannot get more disgusting than that. These people, Americans, you need to face the reality. They don't like you. You pay their salary. They're so corrupt. They have no moral core. They don't care about you. And he's talking about people wanting to kill Israelis. Your American government is killing you. Like Lindsey Graham. Holy shit. You know, with each event, it gets clearer and clearer that our government is not for the American people. It's destroying the American people. Okay. Here. FEMA is actually blocking people from helping rescue and aid people who are trapped in North Carolina. People who are trained to do rescue missions with medvac helicopters have been given a stand down order. They've been told by FEMA they can't use the helicopters to carry out supply deliveries. And they were told they could not carry out a rescue of a nursing home that was flooded, even though they could easily rescue the elderly people who are trapped inside the flooded nursing home. So I can't post this myself, but maybe you can get the word out. We've been in Greenville, South Carolina, with 12 medvac helicopters under FEMA. We are just sitting here doing nothing. FEMA won't send us in to help with medical or even supply delivery. We've been here since Sunday. We are all frustrated at not being allowed to help because of red tape. We could carry a 500-pound payload of supplies for those in need. Nope, sitting here. We asked to go to the nursing homes in affected area that are cut off to provide primary care. Nope, won't let us do shit. South Carolina. Okay. This is a traumatic experience for all those on the ground trying to rescue people, trying to give aid to people, and it's heartbreaking, but it needs to be heard.
Seen a war zone, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly what.
And Lindsey Graham is talking about the war over there. How about the war right here?
A fucking war zone looks like. Guys, whole parking lot's gone. 15-foot sinkholes that would swallow 4 or 5 semis side by side. Houses sitting in parking lots. Houses filled to the top. Can't see nothing but the roof with sand and mud around it. Fucking cars by the hundreds in trees piled up on top of each other. Semis in the center of the river. I mean, 400 or 500 yards from any given road or anything. Guys, it's fucked. It is fucked. You want to argue with me about our government doing something? I will argue tooth and nail with you because I seen this shit firsthand. Talk to the people. Talk to them. When I got to finally, after the third spot I went to try to drop donations off, because it's not because they didn't want it. It's because they had so much influx of material, they couldn't take it. I found a nonprofit group up there that needed everything. The good Lord up above led me to that place. But I asked one of the guys who was real quiet, didn't say much, but I started asking him questions. And I finally told him, I said, man, I'm not trying to get personal. I'm trying to figure out how bad this is. What I just drove through was horrible. I said, they're saying just a couple hundred people on the news and social media. He looked at me and just, his face head kind of drooped, and he started choking up. I put my hand on his back. I said, buddy, we're doing all we can do. He said, I've talked to people and they're pulling people out of houses about an hour. Just they couldn't get out. The water took them in, trapped them in. Then the silt filled in. They're there. You go down through there and there's just houses with big X's on them or check marks on them. I don't know what the X's mean. I don't want to fucking know what the X's mean, but I'm hoping the check mark means that they're good, that there's nobody in there. That, I mean, it's fucking horrible. Every bridge almost is wiped out. Everybody's saying, you know, I'm a one-man band. I'm trying to do all I can fucking do, and you know, it kind of gets under my skin. People saying you need to be here. You need to try to get there. You cannot fucking get here and there. It is impossible. Take it from me. I looked at it. I went off a little side street just trying to drop off material, and I went up a road about 2 miles, and I was met with a fucking road that didn't exist no more because of a landslide. It was not there. I had to back about a quarter mile out of there to an adjacent road so I could turn around a 30-foot trailer that was loaded. ATVs, dirt bikes, they're not getting in there. The only hope them people have is our National Guard or somebody with fucking helicopters. You turn off of I-40 and there was like a 15-acre field with nothing but helicopters. And, you know, everybody jokes about, oh, that must be what Nam sounds like. I promise you that's what fucking Nam sounds like. The whole time it was nothing but helicopters coming, leaving, coming, leaving. Helicopters would just be sitting there hovering, waiting for another one to take off. And when these helicopters would land, that little area I seen, they had 3 fucking skid steers coming across wide the fuck open. The helicopter would barely be touching down, and the skid steer would be pulling up right beside it. And there'd be somebody behind them in a buggy, and they would just get out. And one guy would run over there, and there would be a truck pull up with a big ass fucking tank on there, and they'd start pumping fuel. Them guys would start just loading shit. Pilots never even took their helmets off. Just slid the doors open, started packing shit in there, slid the doors back shut. I watched one of them. It took about 10 minutes, and not a single fucking government plane was there. All of those that I seen was all personal. Not the first markings on them. 2 of them look like old retired Coast Guard helicopters. They were orange and white, but didn't have Coast Guard or nothing on them. Big ass helicopters. Fold out running gear. People just standing on the side of the road just looking. I mean, I had to sit there and just, once we got to where it's going, I told the guys that you just unload the trailer, it'll be fine. If you scratch it, do it. It's a farm trailer. Don't worry about it. I'll fix whatever's, you know. I just had to kind of walk around and just look, and it's fucking gone. Like, that place is not, there's no recovering from that. Like, the banks are, there's no, where the town used to be, it's just boulders, log piles, log jams. I mean, there's no cleaning that up. That's 10 years in the making to get it even back half of what it was. But guys, what you're seeing on the news is nothing compared to what the fuck's going on up there. Them people are fucking hurting. I'm a one-man band. I'm doing all I can. We're going again Saturday, but our government's not doing shit. FEMA might be there. If they just released today, FEMA does not have the funds. We have the funds to fucking help immigrants, but not the fucking own American people. Guys, I'm going to go in here and try to get some bed. I love every single one of y'all. We're going to get another trailer loaded tomorrow and do it all again Saturday.
Thank God for people like this, you know? What is this? Oh, yeah. Okay, so Asheville, 97 plus thousand population. But then you have all of these towns outside. Look at this. These are all of the affected areas. A lot of the videos have Johnny Cash, which is understandable considering the region. But I've got to make sure I don't play it for copyright YouTube.
So this would be so super cool if that was true, but it's not. It's actually the point of why I made that video.
Wow, my mic was off for that, huh? All right. What I was saying is all of these red circles are affected areas in western North Carolina. So when you think of Asheville, that has just under 100,000, and then the population of all of these towns, that a man actually was able to, I don't want to say pull, I don't even know the language, but over 1,000 bodies from the roads, from the rivers. Look at all of these are the affected areas, the affected towns, Blue Ridge Mountains. It's a lot. So it's the population of Asheville, and then add the population of all of this. And do they need help? Yeah. And our government trying to stop the civilians from giving help? Well, apparently it's not going over. It ain't going over in this region. So she's saying that the people are lying. Mainstream media is lying. It's false to say only 200 dead.
So this would be so super cool if that was true, but it's not. It's actually the point of why I made that video.
And what this reads is, I don't think y'all understand that 500 plus people are dead. Thousands more missing. They have ordered cold trailers to our town to store the overload of bodies. They're still finding people literally dangling from treetops. Some still in mattresses.
Local news is saying 60, 70 dead in our county. But if you walk up to any first responder or law enforcement officer and say, is there any update on the death toll? I don't even want to say the number because I've done it. And so is every other local here, because we're genuinely concerned and have been fed up with our local news for not covering it the way that they should. There are hundreds and hundreds dead. And there are some places that they've not even started searching for the bodies because the mudslides are too thick to get through. There are some houses that are still buried under the river. They have ordered cold trailers to our town to keep the bodies. Does that sound like 200 bodies to you? Does that sound like 200 bodies? We're not some tiny little town. Asheville has a large hospital and multiple morgues. So I will say it again, and I will continue to say it. There are hundreds and hundreds dead, and there are thousands missing. If you want to believe one little man behind a screen with a microphone instead of believing our entire community, please feel free to do so. You're not here. You're not helping.
Yep. Barnyard animals survived the hurricane. And this apparently is the first time that she's been able to get back to see them.
What are y'all doing? You came to higher ground. Aren't you smart? Aren't you smarty pantses? Come on. Come on, sweetie pies. Look at him kicking. Are you happy? And looking like a drowned rat. Come on. Come on. Go bully the pig. A few trees down. Come on, sweetie pie. Oh, Lord, you look a wreck. You look a wreck, son. All right. Now let's get into these. Whoa. That hurt. Do you zoomies? Oh, my Lord. Come on. Come on, fatty pig. Come on, little pumpkin. Oh, fatty. Come on, fatty cakes. Come on, fatty cakes. Rob, say God, thank God you're here. Look. Woof. Oh, thank God Mom came to give us a snack. We got a treat. We got a treat and we were starving. Look at your curly hair. Look at your curls. There's Boromir getting his big old pig on. Little Sharon. Little Sharon, you getting your snack on, girl?
It must be so just a relief to see that you have animals alive. The road to Chimney Rock is gone.
What's interesting about this spot is you would just think I'm down the river, but this used to be a road. And they over the trees that are showing here. Sound pavement again.
Jesus. This is one town. It's like the Blue Ridge Mountains in western North Carolina looks like this. all the towns. Animal search and rescue teams deliver supplies to horses stranded on Black Mountain. Can you imagine if everybody just stood down and, believed mainstream media and thought our government was helping? And here, Old Fort, another town, North Carolina. Can't play the music, but look at these. Do not comply, do not bow. There are some pretty impressive people organizing, their own missions. No federal help. And another, it's just, yeah, I love seeing it. Hiking supplies into the flood victims, Irwin, Tennessee. My being from New York, Massachusetts, lived in Massachusetts for many, many years. I can't say that I think my communities would be like this. Isn't that sad? I think it's pretty darn sad. Here at Gov't. Aiken, South Carolina. Look at this line for gas.
This is the line for gas. Wow. For Samsung gas. I'm videoing it. Holy cow. Yeah, let's go in there. It'll only take us an hour to get up to the stoplight. Holy cow. And then the line the other way is curved around the. Whoa, look at that. And there's 3 lines going in. There's line on the other side, and then this line. Holy cow. And there's the other gas station that. Wow. This is the line.
Thank you.
Look at this.
Well, it didn't make it through the mail. Wednesday, October 2nd.
And she says to her daughter, well, we didn't make it for the milk. There's nothing.
Hey guys, I'm in Western North Carolina, and we're working on day 6, and we still have rescue choppers flying overhead. I think I've got a little bit of survivor's guilt that our town was spared, but we need the help. The whole town was wiped out, and I'm talking about everybody was killed. Okay, the fucking media is lying to you. And we need the help. We need it bad. We can't go help. We can't go save anybody. We've been threatened. We will get arrested. I can't imagine the people that are still up there holding on to survive. I mean, we still got electric trucks going all over the place here. Got trees down, tree on my house in the back. But it's incredible. It's incredible that we, the people, are willing to let the government tell us that we are not allowed to save our own people. It's bad. It's really fucking bad. It's worse. It's beyond any nightmare that you can fucking have. There are bodies everywhere up there floating around, buried under mud. Cemeteries most likely have flooded, which means there will probably be caskets and shit floating around. That I don't know of, but I do know that a town was wiped out completely. Everybody killed. And the only people saving them are the people that are there, saving each other. And then they're all stuck together. Fuck our government. You fucking showed your faces with this fucking disaster. And all I got to say is, fuck you.
Yeah. It takes what it takes, I guess, for people to face reality and to kind of, come out of their delusion. Here's another town. Swanoa.
So here today in Swannanoa, North Carolina, one of the hardest hit towns by Hurricane Helene. Looks like a tornado came through.
What is he talking about? There is no government agencies here at all. All the help are from the people. Here's another. Garin Creek, North Carolina. So when you saw that map with all of the red circles indicating that those were the affected areas, what do you think the death toll number will be? This came at night, didn't it? They had no idea. They had no idea. You can't know that you're going to be hit in the Blue Ridge Mountains with a hurricane that is so devastating. Hurricanes are wind events, not water. How did all of that water come about? Look at the devastation here. Yeah, considering that I've been doing this for a whole lot of years, trying to get every weather, warfare event throughout the years, I've never seen anything like this. This is unbelievable. It's okay. They don't say that weather used as a weapon. Well, we're seeing the weapon, right? We're seeing the weapon.
Hey guys, for those that don't know, I'm at the foothills of the Western North Carolina mountains, and everybody in my area that I've talked to, including myself, who applied for the $750 assistance payment from FEMA, has been denied. Okay? Yeah. They've denied us. Okay. So here we sit. We've thrown out all of our food because we had no power for 5-6 days. Some still are without power. Here we sit. Limited resources in the store. And they have denied our $750 resource check. So, yeah. How do you like that?
That's all I'm hearing is denials. I haven't heard from one person that they were accepted, right? Not one. Yes. I actually said last night that all of these truckers and the rescue people and people trying to get into this area, and they're being prevented by law enforcement or whatever, that they should meet up at a truck stop and all go in together. And this is what this man says.
I just got a very terrible phone call. Just got off the phone with a guy.
I can't play that music. I'll get a copyright strike. Okay, he says the truckers being blocked and offloaded by the government and their supplies confiscated. And he's saying, we need to organize this. We need to go in together. And I'll post the link. It's interesting that only YouTube will hand out copyright strikes. On every other platform, they play the music and they're fine. So the link is in the chat. You can listen to what this man says. America is coming to Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee, from Texas to Florida, from across the nation. If the government fails to mobilize, Americans won't sit back and watch. They'll act. To hell with FEMA. Well, that's another, real eye opener for me, because in all of the weather events that I've been observing throughout the years, I've never seen such a mass turnout. But this, I'd say, is probably the most devastating of all that I have seen. Now, I've seen devastation, but not this scale. Not this scale. Not a hurricane in North Carolina. A whole lot of towns have been taken out, either by tornadoes or by flooding. But nothing like this. And not with the government so out there in our face saying, screw you. We don't give a shit about you.
City doorbell, breaking my back just to make a couple more. Yeah, it's another hotel room, sleeping on the floor. I'm hurting in the morning from a night before.
I could already have a copyright strike. Yeah. They're really coming in. Just ordinary Americans. And thank God. Rolling in from Texas. What is about this that makes me tear up? I'm just like, is it because we don't get to see very often people, strangers, caring for strangers? I don't know, but we really do need to reverse the social engineering of the breakdown of community. Yeah. Floridians on their way to help North Carolina. This is Jesus manifest. Okay. If you're not manifesting Jesus in your life, ask yourself, why not? Oh, and this woman is amazing. She was the one on that horse. This is pretty, I found it fascinating.
The problem is, where are they? Because they keep being moved. They keep being told they are not needed.
So she's Horse One recon team. She's organized a lot of these recon teams, and she's just talking about how when they go up for recon, they're told they're not needed when they are very much needed.
And to move on. And let me be clear. When we got there Sunday to Old Fort, there was just two of us, me and my friend Logan and her older brother. Her older brother is former law enforcement. While we went out on horses to try and do our kind of first little look at everything in the area, see what we could help with, he went to Marion, to where FEMA is, and got us registered. So we were a registered, activated by FEMA, recognized horse recon group. Okay. And this is great. This is what they told us would be most helpful for us to do. Okay. So then we're working with the fire department for 3 days in Old Fort. And Old Fort got hit very, very hard. But at least is very accessible because of 40. So we were there for 3 days. The fire department was great. They truly treated us as equals. They saw us as an asset. They took such good care of us. On the flip side, you could tell that they have a lot of red tape as well on a local level where they're doing paperwork. They're waiting for approval to go out on these different assignments. You know, there was a whole lot of like, hurry up and wait. And we're sitting there with these horses ready to go. And we're like, what can we do? What can we do? I ended up getting a Facebook request from someone saying, I heard you're in Old Fort. Here's an address of someone who is stranded and needs to get out. I took it to the fire chief and I said, this is what's going on. Can we go do this mission? And he said, yes. And guess what? We got up there. We got that lady up. We got the lady across the creek that the bridge was out on, and got some other stuff done while we were up there. Great. But waiting around for them to be able to figure out what to do next and things like that was so hard for us. And I'm sure it was really hard for them. And I don't fault them. I fault a system for that, right? When we were able to get things rolling, it was great. When they would finally figure out an assignment for us and get that approved and everything, and I guess talk to all the right people they needed to talk to or whatever to make it happen, it was great. They would escort us to the place, let us do the assignment, report back. That was fantastic. But it was just the downtime in between where we felt like we could have been helpful was really rough. Okay, so after 3 days, we felt like we had done everything, and they felt like we had done everything that we could do with the horses in Old Fort because it is fairly accessible. So most of their places they're able to get to with ATV and things like that at this point. And mind you, we do have a skid steer guy with us, and we have a UTV with us. We have chainsaws, so it's not just a horse team. And in fact, all of the resources that I'm bringing with me this weekend, which is basically a whole cavalry, is chainsaws, UTVs. We even have a mini excavator coming. So anyway, we're not just a horse team at this point, which is awesome. So they move out of Old Fort, and they're trying to kind of mobilize everything, figure out where they're going. I think she went and did some scouting in Black Mountain. This is about the time that I went home. So I find out they're headed to Newland, North Carolina. They're coordinating with an official there who says, yes, 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 get here, bring everybody that you can. We need you. This is a tiny town that has been very, very badly hit and has not had a lot of assistance come in yet. So we're like, that's exactly where we need to be. They're coordinating with, I don't know who this official is. It's hard to get this info while I'm home and they're there, obviously. So I'm going to give you the best that I can. This official says, come, we have space for you. We have hay for you if you need it. I'm going to get hotel accommodations for you, even though we were perfectly happy to be self-sufficient. Okay. Perfectly happy. They get there to Newland. These people, the officials, whoever they talked to, said, I have no idea who you've been coordinating with. We've never heard of that person. But yeah, we don't need you. And that's truly insane to me, because everything I'm hearing about Newland is that they need us more than ever, right? It just so happens FEMA got to Newland that day. Take from that what you will. So they move us on. The team heads to Elk Park, and I'm assuming that something similar happened there, because we thought, all right, green light, Elk Park, that's where we're going. Let all my people know, coordinating all this stuff with the little tidbits of information that I can get from Logan on the other side. Next thing I know, they're moving out of Elk Park, headed toward Bakersville. All right. And they're like, if we can't get in Bakersville, I don't know what to do. Like, we've spent 2 days trying to mobilize this unit to somewhere, anywhere that wants our help. And it hasn't worked. So being a FEMA activated, registered recon horse group is meaningless. We did exactly what they asked us to do, and it means nothing at this point because of the control that they're taking. So we managed to get set up in Bakersville. Guess what? I think it's because FEMA's not there yet. Okay. They're set up in Bakersville. The locals were thrilled, and they're like, green light it, bring the reinforcements, we'll take you. So we hope to be there for at least a few days, but now we've got to have these credentials to even get in. And apparently it's not the FEMA credentials. That doesn't mean anything anymore. It doesn't mean anything that I got registered with FEMA. So we've had to pull some strings and try to get some other credentials to even get in there. Okay. So please hope with us that we will be able to get into Bakersville and be put to work. All we want to do is work. We are highly capable. There are many in our group with medical training, with search and recon training. We've got ranchers that spend time out west. We have got heavy equipment operators. Like, this is a good, well put together team who is not just coming in blindly. And all we want to do is work. So the red tape is just infuriating at this point.
Is it red tape or is it purposeful? I think it's purposeful. It's 7 days now. And FEMA is just now showing up at, one place, I think in Asheville. 7 days. Biden apparently approved 1,000 military men and women. And then I'm listening to this news broadcast, and the guy, from the Army is saying, well, they haven't been, they didn't deploy yet. It's 7 days. They haven't deployed yet because, well, it's going to take a few days for them to coordinate with FEMA and the National Guard. People are dying. This has to get out. It has to get out to all Americans. They have to begin to understand that this government is a criminal organization, and it does not. In fact, I think it likes to kill people. When you hear, Lindsey Graham, well, but what about Israel? Hello, you're the senator of South Carolina. Oh, what about Israel? They're letting you know. It's in your face. And we have known for decades that, our government is not swell. It's just not swell. And here, this is coming out of Mac Getz's or Gates. Mac, is it Gates or Getz? Because there's a lot of whistleblowers who are coming out. My office has been in contact with whistleblowers of the Department of Homeland Security in numerous emergency management functions at the federal, state, and local level, and they all point to the same critical mismanagement issues. FEMA has wasted taxpayer funds, misappropriated funds, and left other federal, state, and local responders without deployment orders on the ground. As reported and further confirmed by my office, hundreds, if not thousands, of service members were deployed by the Department of Defense to North Carolina and have sat idle, waiting for FEMA. We have confirmed FEMA employees deployed on the clock, awaiting orders in hotels. FEMA pre-disaster aid was withheld, exacerbating the emergency. It is also public that NGOs have purchased airline tickets for migrants through the use of FEMA funds. Okay. I don't think that there is an adult American out there that does not realize how thoroughly corrupt our government is. But it's unfortunate that we have an awful lot who are still comfortable and they don't give a shit. They just don't care. They're dangerous people. You really need to care, especially when you seem, well, quite happy to send your tax dollars and pay their salary and look at the benefits that they get and all of the perks, and they screw us every single day. What are we doing here? Right? What are we doing here? Boise, Idaho had a fire that has fortunately been contained. The line fire, trying to find out information about these fires is very hard, but line fire, still active. It's 79% contained. This is the one in Southern California, San Bernardino Mountains. And I thought there were more homes, but it might have been one of the other fires that got the homes, but structures damaged 4. They still have a mandatory evacuation going. We have a lot going on. You know, it just doesn't seem to stop. Right? Right. Here, the Maui fire report has come out. It's a power line. A power line caused the Maui Lahaina fire. Power lines. Well, that's what caused the Paradise fire. Paradise, California. They can do this because they get away with it. They can come out and say, oh, you're going to get $750. Lahaina, $700. But they make their announcements of billions and billions and billions. Lindsey Graham can come out and say, but what about Israel? They don't have enough ammunition. Because they know that the American people won't rise up and take them out. So now they're really putting it in our face. They don't have to hide anything. That's pretty amazing. A power line. Then we have all of the gaslighting for that chemical fire in Conyers, Georgia. Oh, it's safe, it's safe. And meanwhile, people are getting sick, right? East Palestine. Oh, it's safe. The water, the air, safe. And meanwhile, people are getting sick. And the link is in the chat. Boy, do I have to hit the enter button fast on that.
Can this #1 solar gadget save your life in a crisis?
I don't know. Okay? I don't know. But look, yeah, you need to just say, oh, thank you, FEMA official. And then just go on and do what you want to do. And stop bowing down to authority. But only one person here, one person there doing it, they get destroyed. We need everybody We need everybody to understand that they too are adults and they have the power to decide for themselves. They have the mindset to decide for themselves what they're going to do. Because boy, we're really needing a lot of people who just say, no more, no more, no more. Yeah, Dolly Parton finally came out. Where was she for days and days and days? Dolly Parton, who lives in Tennessee, real Tennessee, Dollywood. She's got all of these foundations. She did help during the fires. I lost, pretty much all my respect for Dolly because I don't even want to go there. I had a subscriber who I used to call Little Dolly. She was in Tennessee. And I've thought about her a lot. And all of the fires and now the flooding. It's gotten to Pigeon Forge, which is where Dollywood is, I believe. Anyway, I like the fact that she came out and gave millions to those in the area affected by the fire. But I was like, hey, where are all of the celebrities on what's happening in North Carolina? Haven't seen very many. Dolly Parton comes out, and I think I have it actually. Yeah.
This is my home. And I just want all of you to know that, like Eugene was saying, you remember when we had the fires, everybody pitched in, tried to do everything that they could. And so I really think that this is a time for me to step up again, for all of us to step up and do what we can. And of course, today I wanted to announce that from myself personally, just from my own bank account, I'm donating $1 million today. But there's a lot to be done, and we're trying to find other ways to even raise more funds, but also with our my Dollywood companies and all the people I'm involved with Dollywood and Eugene and all of the partners that we have with our Stampede, and of course the Pirates Voyage, and of course the Dollywood Foundation. And we've added another $1 million to that 1 million. So we're starting out with a good little hunk. And like I said, we're trying to find other new ways to make money because it's going to take a lot of money, as you know.
But why did it take her so long to come out? When she came out very quickly after the fires, that's what I'm a little like, where were you, Dolly? But she did this song, vaccine, what was that song that she sang? She was a vaccine pusher. And yeah, I have trouble with people who do that. So, wow. A whole lot of people are getting so screwed. And we still have, this is a happening thing every day at the border, right? And big shout out to Anthony Aguero. It's Jolene, right? There was a video that I saw that I thought I had open. Maybe I'll play it tomorrow night. But Hernandez, I can't remember her. Savannah Hernandez? She went up to Maine, interviewed people who are living in brand new apartments that was supposed to be affordable housing for Mainers. And they decided, no, I think we're going to give it to illegal migrants for 2 years. Free rent for 2 years. And it would cost anywhere from, don't quote me on the price, but I think I remember $1,600 to $2,300. They're getting it free with free medical care, free services. $750 for you guys who lost everything. Too bad you're American citizens. Too bad you've been paying taxes. And then when you apply, you get denied. I think Americans really need to rise up. I think we better start uniting and let go of those insignificant, difficulties that we have with one another. Weaponized migration.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you looking into it. Hey, no problem, sir.
Military-aged men. And here it's Nick Shirley, New York. New York City, illegal immigrants admit to receiving 7 months free rent, free meals, free insurance, and more. Meanwhile, Americans affected, Hurricane Elaine, $750. It's such a slap in the face. And here's another Alexa. Yes. And here, a woman in North Carolina who is driving to her daughter in Asheville. On Facebook, she writes this post describing what she saw. And it's not pretty. I'll post a link, but she's coming across what she thinks are like Halloween costumes. She's not even sure what she's looking at the closer she gets. Not Halloween decorations. Closer she gets, she sees that they're dead bodies. Bodies of animals, domestic and wild, and bodies floating in the river. Twin babies who died with mom are the youngest known Hurricane Helene victims. I'll never get to meet my grandson. Julie LaRue was found dead, Marion, North Carolina. I think we're going to be seeing an awful lot of, in the next couple of weeks, we're just going to be seeing a whole lot. Pictures of the dead. So, no, not Red Cross. There was another man who posted a video about how pissed off he was. The fact that we have to donate when our tax dollars should be covering it all. Well, we know they're not. We know we have a criminal organization. Sorry, but the American people never took out that criminal organization, never held it accountable. So this is what we got now. Okay. And we don't live in the United States of America, as a whole lot of people still believe that we do. No, we live in a communist tyranny that's only going to get more tyrannical as we go on. It's only going to be put in our face how deranged are and criminal are our leaders on both sides. And at this point, I frankly don't think anybody should be paying taxes, and everybody should be banding together, helping one another, helping their communities. Yeah, okay. I think last night I showed the Asheville, one of the animal shelters there. Everybody's overwhelmed now. They wouldn't be so overwhelmed if people were coming together, to even if you can just volunteer a couple of hours, a day or an hour a day or something, right? We've got to lessen the stress and the overwhelm that a whole lot of Americans who are carrying the burden of doing everything that they can for the animals, for the people, they wouldn't be so burdened if more people pitched in. That's where a lot of us come in. All right, so yeah. Living honestly, speaking honestly means facing honestly our reality. And it's not pretty. And yeah, we don't have the army of good to go up against the evil. But we do and really should have an army of good in our communities helping one another. Jesus manifested. And yeah, it's absolutely what Jesus would want. Manifest the goodness. On that note, I say thank you for showing up. I hope to see you tomorrow night. And yeah, stay safe. Do what you can for people. Good night. Good luck. Ciao, guys.